The last 12 years changed multiplayer gaming forever. These 15 games didn't just entertain millions, they created movements. Some dominated esports, others became virtual hangout spots where friendships were made and destroyed. A few literally broke the internet when they dropped. Number 1 didn't just win, it rewrote the rules for every multiplayer game that came after. It made developers rethink what gaming could even be. Buckle up, this is the definitive ranking.
In 2021, Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studios made the perfect co-op game. You can't play this solo, it requires 2 people, and that's the whole point. You're Cody and May, parents going through a divorce. Your daughter's tears magically turn you into dolls, and a talking relationship book forces you through therapy disguised as platforming challenges. Every level has completely different mechanics. One level, you're navigating a tool shed with different abilities. One player controls time, the other uses cloning. Another level shrinks you down to fight wasps. There's a level that's basically a full space shooter. The game never repeats itself. Just when you master one mechanic, it throws something completely new at you. The story is surprisingly emotional. You're watching this marriage fall apart while playing through their memories and problems. The elephant scene destroyed people. If you know, you know. The communication required forces you to actually talk to your co-op partner. You can't just brute force through these puzzles. It Takes Two won Game of the Year for a reason. It proved co-op games could be more than just shooting together.
Behavior Interactive in 2016 cracked the asymmetric horror formula. 4 survivors versus 1 killer. Survivors fix generators to escape. The killer hunts them down and sacrifices them to the entity. Simple concept, endlessly replayable. The licensed killers are what hooked people. Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface, Pyramid Head, Nemesis, Chucky. The roster is a horror fan's dream. Each killer plays completely differently. The nurse teleports through walls. The huntress throws hatchets. The twins control 2 characters. Learning a new killer means learning entirely new strategies. Survivors have perks that create builds. Decisive Strike for clutch escapes. Dead Hard for dodging hits. The meta shifts constantly with patches. The community is passionate and sometimes toxic, but the game keeps evolving. New chapters every few months with new killers, survivors, and maps. The tension is real, hiding in lockers while hearing the heartbeat get louder, making that last-second save at the exit gate, getting face-kicked by a salty killer. 8 years later, Dead by Daylight is still the king of asymmetric horror.
In summer 2020, during lockdown, Fall Guys became the wholesome chaos everyone needed. You're a jelly bean person competing in wipeout-style obstacle courses against 59 other jelly beans. The physics are deliberately janky. You grab, stumble, and flail your way to victory. The simplicity is genius. Anyone can understand these games immediately. Race to the finish. Don't fall off the platforms. Grab the tail from other players. Team games create hilarious chaos where you're screaming at teammates who have no idea what they're doing. The final rounds get intense. Royal fumble with 1 crown, everyone grabbing desperately. The costumes are pure personality. Dinosaurs, pirates, ninjas, licensed characters from Portal and Sonic. The crossovers kept coming. Skins became status symbols. The game went free to play in 2022, which revived the player base massively. Fall Guys proved that multiplayer games don't need guns or competition to be fun. Sometimes you just need colorful jelly beans ragdolling through obstacle courses. It's gaming comfort food that anyone can enjoy.
Bungie in 2017 launched Destiny 2 and spent years figuring out what the game actually wanted to be. Now, in 2025, it's a live service looter shooter with MMO elements that somehow works. You're a guardian with space magic fighting aliens across the solar system. The gunplay feels perfect. That's Bungie's specialty. Every weapon has weight. Landing precision kills is satisfying. The build crafting got deep with mods, fragments, and exotic synergies. You can make ridiculous builds that chain abilities infinitely or deal absurd damage. The raids are where Destiny shines. 6-player coordinated challenges that require communication and execution. Last Wish, Deepstone Crypt, Root of Nightmares, these aren't just boss fights, they're puzzles requiring teamwork. The Day 1 raid races are gaming events. Thousands watch teams compete to clear new raids first. The seasonal model keeps content flowing, but the story has gotten genuinely good. The Witch Queen campaign, Lightfall's divisive narrative, the final shape wrapping up a decade of storytelling. Destiny 2 asks for time commitment, but the community's dedicated. When it clicks, nothing else scratches the same itch. Rare in 2018 brought back pirate adventures. You and your crew sail a ship, hunt treasure, fight skeletons, and inevitably get attacked by other players who steal everything. It's a pirate simulator that's as much about the journey as the destination. The cooperation required is real. Someone steers, someone adjusts sails, someone navigates, someone watches for threats. A well-coordinated crew sailing into a storm while being chased by another ship is pure adrenaline. Firing yourself out of a cannon to board an enemy ship mid-battle never gets old. The progression is all cosmetic. Fancy ship skins, clothing, instruments. Everyone's on equal footing equipment-wise, so victories feel earned through skill and teamwork. The Tall Tales add story missions with puzzles and lore. The Pirate Legend status takes dedication but feels rewarding. Updates added tons of content. Ghost ships, megalodons, fortresses, merchant alliances. The game has crossplay between Xbox and PC. Sea of Thieves is best with friends on voice chat, making emergent stories. That time you sink another cruise ship while they were on an island? That time a kraken attacked mid-fight? These moments make the game memorable. Ubisoft in 2015 made a tactical shooter that's somehow more popular now than at launch. 5 attackers versus 5 defenders, 1 life per round, destructible environments that change every match. The learning curve is brutal, but the skill ceiling is infinite. The operators are what makes Siege special. Each has unique gadgets and abilities. Thermite breaches reinforced walls. Bandit electrifies them to stop breaches. Mute jams drones. The meta constantly shifts with operator bans and new additions. Learning callouts, angles, and strategies takes hundreds of hours. The destruction system creates dynamic gameplay. You can breach floors, blow holes in walls, create sightlines that didn't exist. Sound is crucial. Hearing footsteps above you, knowing exactly where enemies are through audio cues. Good players don't need to see you to know where you are. The community is hardcore but passionate. Ranked matches get sweaty. Pro League sets the meta. The game updates constantly. New operators, map reworks, balancing changes. 9 years later, Siege has staying power because the tactical depth keeps players coming back. When your perfect strategy works and you clutch a 1v5, nothing else compares. Counter-Strike in 2013 took Counter-Strike and refined it for a new generation. In 2023, Valve released CS2 on Source 2 engine. The game is simple. Terrorists plant a bomb, counter-terrorists stop them. 5 versus 5. Buy weapons, execute strategies, clutch impossible rounds. The skill ceiling is astronomical. Spray patterns for every gun, peaking angles, utility usage, smokes, flashes, molotovs that pros have practiced for thousands of hours. The economy system adds strategy. Save rounds, force buys, managing team money. A good AWP shot can change the entire match momentum. The maps are legendary. Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno, Nuke. People have played these maps for decades and still find new angles. The competitive scene is massive. CS2 tournaments fill arenas. Teams like FaZe, G2, Vitality compete for millions in prize money. The major championships are gaming's equivalent of the World Cup. Skin trading became its own economy. Rare knife skins were thousands of dollars. The community creates maps, mods, and surf servers. CS2 improved graphics and added new features, but the core gameplay stayed the same. That's what makes Counter-Strike timeless. The formula works, so don't fix it. Arrowhead Game Studios dropped Helldivers 2 in February 2024, and it exploded. You're a Helldiver spreading managed democracy across the galaxy by shooting bugs and robots. It's Starship Troopers as a game, 4 players co-op against ridiculous odds. The chaos is the whole point.
Friendly fire is always on, and you can't turn it off. Calling down an orbital strike on your teammate by accident is hilarious. Dropping a supply pod on someone's head kills them instantly. The game forces you to communicate and coordinate, or everyone dies. Higher difficulties are brutal. Armored enemies, endless swarms, environmental hazards. You need teamwork to survive. The stratagems are what make combat incredible. Called on airstrikes, turrets, mech suits, railguns from your ship orbiting above. Input directional combos to summon support. Each player builds their loadout differently. Someone brings the heavy weapons, someone brings shields, someone focuses on crowd control. The variety in team compositions keeps every mission fresh. Free enemy factions play completely different. Terminants are bug swarms that overwhelm you. Automatons are tactical robots requiring cover and flanking. The Illuminate use advanced tech and hunt you down. The game basically gives you 3 different experiences. When you're tired of fighting bugs, switch to bots. The live service updates keep adding content. Helldivers 2 is co-op chaos perfection.
Inner Sloth made Among Us in 2020. Nobody cared. Then, in 2020, during lockdown, streamers picked it up and it exploded. 10 players on a spaceship. Crewmates complete tasks. Imposters sabotage and kill crewmates. Everyone argues about who's sus. This social deduction is what made it viral. You're lying to your friends. Someone's lying to you. The meetings devolve into chaos. Accusations, alibis, emergency meetings called for no reason. Where were you? I saw you vent. You're sus, not gonna lie. The memes wrote themselves. The simplicity meant anyone could play. Your grandma could figure out Among Us. Cross-platform between PC and mobile helped massively. Streamers made it content gold. Watching Toast deduce the imposter, watching Corpse Husband gaslight everyone, watching friend groups implode over accusations. New maps and roles added complexity. Scientist, engineer, guardian angel, shapeshifter. Hide-and-seek modes. The game became a social phenomenon beyond gaming. Among Us proved that gameplay doesn't need to be complex if the social interaction is engaging enough. It's Mafia, but in space, and millions loved it. Respawn Entertainment in 2019 shadow-dropped Apex Legends and immediately challenged Fortnite's dominance. It's set in the Titanfall universe, but focused on hero-based battle royale. 20 teams of 3, last squad standing. The movement inherited Titanfall's smoothness, sliding, climbing, ziplines, it feels incredible. The legends are what set Apex apart. Each character has tactical, passive, and ultimate abilities. Wraith phases to safety, Pathfinder grapples across the map, Bloodhound tracks enemies, Gibraltar has a shield. Team composition matters. You need balance between offense, defense, and support. The ping system revolutionized communication. You can mark enemies, loot locations without saying a word. It made playing with randoms viable. The gunplay is tight. Respawn's FPS pedigree shows. The weapon variety and attachments add depth. The Wingman and R99 became iconic. The competitive scene grew fast. Apex Legends GS tournaments with massive prize pools. The ranked grind is real. From Bronze to Predator takes hundreds of hours. Seasonal updates bring new legends, weapons, and map changes. Apex found its audience and kept them. 6 years later, it's still a top battle royale with a dedicated community that appreciates the skill-based gameplay. Riot Games in 2020 made a tactical shooter to compete with Counter-Strike Global Offensive. 5 versus 5, attackers plant the spike, defenders stop them. But Riot added hero abilities, agents with unique powers that complement gunplay rather than replace it. The agents create variety in tactics. Jet dashes aggressively. Sage walls off areas and revives teammates. Cypher sets up tripwires and cameras. Brimstone calls in airstrikes. Teams draft agents during selection, creating team compositions. The meta shifts with agent buffs and nerfs constantly. The gunplay is deliberately precise. Shooting while moving is punished. The Vandal and Phantom are your mains. The Operator is a one-shot sniper that costs a fortune. Eco rounds force you to save money. Ability usage adds layers. Smokes block sightlines, flashes blind enemies, walls change map geometry. The ranked system is hardcore. Iron to Radiant, each rank earned to aim and game sense. The competitive scene exploded immediately. VCT tournaments showcase pro play.
Teams like Sentinels, Paper Rex, and Loud battling for championships. Riot's investment in esports paid off. Valorant is now a top esport alongside League of Legends. Psyonix in 2015 made soccer with rocket-powered cars. That's it. That's the pitch. It sounds stupid until you play it and realize it's one of the most skill-based competitive games ever made. The ceiling is infinite. Bronze players whiff the ball constantly. Grand champions fly through the air hitting ceiling shots and flip resets. The gap between ranks is staggering. You're constantly learning. Basic aerials, fast aerials, double touches, air dribbles, flip cancels. Thousands of hours and you're still improving. The physics are perfect. Every interaction is predictable if you understand the mechanics. The ball bounces consistently. Your car's hitbox matters. Octane versus Fennec versus Dominus. Boost management becomes second nature. Small pods versus big pods. Rotating properly with teammates. Positioning matters more than mechanical skill sometimes. The esports scene is hype. RLCS World Championship fills arenas. Teams pulling off passing plays and synchronized shots. The freestyle community creates insane workshop mops. Going free-to-play in 2020 exploded the player base. 10 years later, Rocket League is timeless because the concept is simple, but the execution takes forever to master. It's easy to learn, impossible to master.
Blizzard in 2016 made the hero shooter that defined the genre. 6 versus 6, objective-based modes, heroes with unique abilities. It wasn't the first hero shooter, but it was the most polished and accessible. The variety kept it fresh. The hero roster at launch was diverse and memorable. Tracer zipping around, Reinhardt with his shield, Mercy healing teammates, Genji deflecting projectiles. Each hero had personality through voice lines and animations. Play of the game at match end became iconic. Everyone wanted that highlight moment. The team composition meta created roles: tank, DPS, support. 2-2-2 role lock came later to force balance. The ultimate abilities changed fights. Zarya's Graviton Surge combined with Hanzo's Dragon Strike. Coordinated ult combos felt amazing. Communication and teamwork mattered more than individual skill. The competitive scene was massive. Overwatch League with city-based teams, huge buy-ins, mainstream coverage. The game had cultural impact, conventions full of cosplayers, animated shorts that people loved more than some Pixar films. Overwatch fell off when Blizzard stopped updating it for Overwatch 2 development, but during its peak from 2016 to 2019, it was everywhere. It proved hero shooters to be mainstream. Riot Games launched League in 2009, but over the last 12 years, it became the most played game on Earth. 2 teams of 5 destroy the enemy nexus. 3 lanes, jungle, 160-plus champions. MOBA gameplay refined to perfection. The learning curve is vertical, but once it clicks, people play for a decade. The champion variety is absurd. Assassins, mages, tanks, supports, marksmen. Every champion has unique abilities and playstyles. Yasuo dashing through minions, Lee Sin's mechanical combos, Thresh's hooks deciding fights. Patches every 2 weeks keep the meta shifting, new champions regularly, reworks updating old designs. The competitive scene is the biggest in esports. World's Championship fills stadiums worldwide. Korean, Chinese, European, and North American leagues. Teams like T1, G2, and JDG battling for glory. Faker is the esports GOAT. The prize pools aren't Dota level, but the viewership is unmatched. World's finals get 100 million viewers. The toxicity is legendary, but so is the addiction. Ranked anxiety is real. Your teammate going 0-10 ruins your promos. But landing that perfect teamfight combo, climbing ranks, hitting that flashy outplay, the highs keep you coming back despite the lows. League has staying power because the core gameplay loop works. Riot keeps it fresh, but never breaks what makes it special.
Epic Games in 2017 released Fortnite Battle Royale and changed everything. 100 players drop from the battle bus onto an island. The storm closes in. Last one standing wins.
But the building mechanic made it unique. Wood, brick, metal structures built on the fly. Mid-fight, you're building walls, ramps, towers. The skill ceiling is insane. The cultural phenomenon can't be overstated. Fortnite transcended gaming. The emotes and dances spread everywhere. Schools, sports celebrations, weddings. Parents knew what Fortnite was. Drake played with Ninja on stream and broke Twitch records. The game became a social space where kids hung out after school instead of playing outside. The collaborations are wild. Marvel had entire seasons. The Avengers Endgame event, Batman, Star Wars premiered a movie scene in Fortnite. Travis Scott's astronomical concert brought in over 12 million concurrent players. People attended a virtual concert in a video game. Ariana Grande performed. It stopped being just a game and became a platform. The seasonal content kept it fresh. New map locations every season. The Chapter 2 map complete overhaul. Mythic weapons from boss NPCs. Vehicles added midway through. The zero build mode in 2022 brought back millions who couldn't build.